I said, hey, what's up? Hello. And this here is a Blood on the Clocktower puzzle. I did not make this myself. This was made by someone on the Clocktower subreddit I found, Not Quite Vertical. I'll link their, I don't know, Reddit page, I guess, in the description. But I saw this puzzle. I was like, wow, this looks awesome. Turns out Not Quite Vertical has like over 60 puzzles at this time of recording. And I just kind of want to go through them, because they're really fun. They're a joy to get through. And if you want to go ahead and try the puzzle yourself, pause the video, give it a shot. Otherwise, I'm just going to go into it and solve it. And then the process that goes through the thinking of solving said puzzle, right? Just without the social game of it, just the logic game part of it. Anyways, let's go right in. First, let's look at our situation here. We have 6 players: Oscar, Sola, Matt, Tim, Anna, and us. You, me, I, thou. So Oscar is the investigator, Sola the steward, Noble the Matt, Matt the noble, Tim the knight, Anna the seamstress, and us the savant. With 3 days worth of info, this is a Leviathan game with a Scarlet Woman, which is, by the way, like, insane combination to have, but I digress. Only 1 demon and 1 minion. Now, the rules state that the evil team will lie about their role, but they may or may not give false information. Their abilities do not otherwise affect information. Okay, good to note. Which it's saying about the evil team's abilities. So no Nadashi or any of that junk. There's 1 drunk in play confirmed, and we know it's not us. According to the rules. In the real game, like, I don't think there'd be a guaranteed way to know. But in this game, right here, right now, we know we're not the drunk. Everyone, or I guess the drunk here, reports the information they are given, which may or may not be false. The other players are townsfolk. Okay, so we have the 1 drunk, 1 demon, 1 minion, and then 3 townsfolk. They truthfully report their role and information they are given. We've received 3 days of savant info, all right here. We'll get to that. Each day, 1 statement is true and 1 is false. Who's the demon, who's the minion, and who is the drunk? Okay, so let's go through. Now, how do we start figuring this out? Well, we're just going to go straight into the savant info. We know this is completely sober. We know we're good. So let's look at day 1 information first. The investigator is in play, or you sit next to at least 1 1 evil character. Let's assume, to figure out which one's true, let's just assume the investigator is in play. We know we're sober and healthy, so our information will be good. We're assuming Oscar is good based off this info. The investigator is in play, so he's not drunk and he's not evil. Assuming this day 1 info. Day 1. Okay, either Anna or Sola is the minion. Let's just assume it's Sola first. If it's Sola, well, both Tim and Anna have to be good. Tim and Anna have to be good if Sola is the minion because of this information, meaning Matt has to be evil. So it would be Sola is the Sola is the minion in this case. Matt is the demon. I should use purple here. So we can ignore their information. That would add up, though, so far. Anna information says Oscar and Sola are different alignments. Oscar and Sola, yep, that adds up. Tim is saying neither Anna nor Sola are the demon. Neither Anna nor Sola are the demon. Yeah, and it makes this one's false, this one's true. Yeah, this could add up. But let's look at day 2. A sober and healthy chef would see a 1. Well, that can't be true with this. The drunk sits between two townsfolk. Well, I guess I would have to be the drunk, but we know I'm not the drunk. Uh-oh. Okay, well, let's look over here. Either Tim or Sola is the minion. Either Tim or Sola is the minion. That's true. Noble's not in play. That would also be true. Wait, they're both true. Here's my point. It's this assumption that Oscar is the investigator and Sola is the steward or the minion is wrong because of day 3's info both being true and day 4's or day 2's info of not the drunk. Like, you can't, I'm not the drunk. The drunk is one of these 5. But the only way for the drunk to be possible is sitting between two townsfolk. So my point is, we can't assume Sola is the minion to Oscar's investigator. Oops. So let's go a different direction with it. Now that we know that's not possible. And let's also do this just for clarity. Okay, let's say Oscar is the investigator and it's actually Anna who is the minion, the Scarlet Woman. Okay, well, this is immediately impossible because I sit next to at least one evil player and the investigator is in play. Those cannot both be true. They cannot both be true. And in this world, they both are true. So the investigator cannot be in play, is my point. This is never true, meaning this is true. Okay, so I do sit to next to at least one evil character. One of Tim or Anna, at bare minimum, is evil. Let's move on. A sober and healthy chef would see a 1. Okay, well, we know if we're going to assume this is true, it's either Sola and Tim or Matt and Anna, because we know one of these two is evil, but not both of them. So let's assume it's Tim and Sola. One of them's minion, one of them's demon. Right? Then Matt would have to be the drunk. No, Matt cannot be the drunk. I'm sorry. But yeah, Tim and Sola, let's look at the info. Either Anna or Sola is the minion. Well, Oscar has to be the drunk in this case, because we know he can't be the investigator. So we can ignore his info, even though in this case it is true. Or it could be true, I guess. Oscar and Sola are different alignments. Oscar and Sola, different alignments. Boom. And of Tim, Oscar, and Sola, one is evil. Tim, Oscar, and Sola. Wait a minute. That's 2 evils, but the noble's ability is only 1 evil. So this does not add up, meaning this scenario cannot be true. So let's go backwards instead. Instead, let's say Oscar is the drunk and the evil team's on the other side of the board, Anna and Matt. Because that's according to the chef info, assuming that one is the true statement from day 2. Well, then that means Tim is saying neither Anna nor Sola can be the demon, sure, but Sola's information, of course, can just not be correct. Matt cannot be good. You cannot be the drunk, because the drunk cannot sit between two townsfolk if the chef one were to be true. Because let's say you were the drunk, then that means this is true and this is true. And that's not how Savant works. And we know I'm not drunk. So all that is to say, we know this is wrong. And we know, as a result, that this is true. The drunk sits between two townsfolk, and I sit next to at least one evil character. Okay. Now, where do we go from here? Well, here are the possible places the drunk could be. Here, 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 or here is what I would say, except for the fact that now we know the chef would not see a 1. So either it's going to be kind of like this type of, you know, formation, or it's going to be like this, right? Oh my gosh. Ignore what I just drew. We know now that the evils are not sitting next to each other. And we know one of them is sitting next to me. So it's either Tim is with Oscar or Anna or Matt. But the thing is, if you assume it's with Matt, let's just assume for a second it's with Matt across the board. Where could the drunk be to be in between two townsfolk? Nowhere. Meaning the evils cannot be next 2 spaces away. Or 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces away. They cannot be across the board from each other, meaning the only possible evils are in this formation. Wow, what am I doing? What are these symbols I'm making? So it's either Tim and Anna and Oscar, Oscar and Tim, or Sola and Matt. These are the possible evil combinations, but we know it can't be Sola or Matt because that would make me the drunk because I'd be the only one in between 2 townsfolk. So we can cross that out. So that leaves Sola is 100% good and Matt is 100% good. Interesting. And now the drunk and the 2 evils are between these 3. Let's look at our info now. The noble is not in play. Well, we know now for sure that that is incorrect because it is in play. Meaning, either Tim or Sola is the minion. Well, we know Sola is not the minion, so Tim is guaranteed the minion. So where does that leave us? There's a drunk between Oscar and Anna. We can ignore Tim's information. So Anna's saying Oscar and Sola are different alignments. That could be possible. Matt is saying one evil between these 3. And since we know Matt is sober and good, Tim is the evil. Meaning Oscar has to be the drunk because he cannot be evil. Resulting with our demon being Anna. So your demon Leviathan is Anna. Your Scarlet Woman minion is Tim. And your drunk townsfolk is Oscar. With Sola being a real steward, Matt being a real noble, and of course, us being a real savant. That's how you solve the game, going one by one with the savant info. It is also very, very, very reliant on this specific line. There's one drunk in play, not you. That information being a part of the rules is what makes this possible to solve. And yeah, that's puzzle 1.